want. It's Jalen and Jacoby.
It's Friday, and he is Jalen Rose.
What up, Doe?
And I am David Jacoby.
And on the cool check-in.
Together, we are Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. What do?
We give the people what they want.
Huge news in the world of sports today. Kyrie Irving was presented to Boston in the Boston press. Ezekiel Elliott's suspension is now on hold. But nothing in the sports world is more important than this Nas slander from Lonzo Ball from his new reality show on Facebook. Let's listen.
That's the goal for the next 2 months while we do this.
What?
We're going to get zealous and some real hip-hop.
That's not gonna happen. Y'all outdated, man. Don't nobody listen to Nas no more.
Face up, lean forward a little bit.
Only smaller.
Yeah, give me a big hug.
Real hip hop is Migos, Future. Hey. Yeah.
We all look at Henry's face.
Jalen Rose, old man Jalen, are you going to stand for this Nas slander?
Hit the brakes.
Okay.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, no. Oh, no. This is why we started the show with this, because I knew it was going to get Jalen going.
Oh, my goodness.
Old man Jalen, just think before you speak, okay? Because
So,
you cannot
hold
take the
on.
words back.
Now, who's been a bigger cheerleader of the ball movement than me? Now, seriously, who? Do you know anybody?
Marcellus comes to mind, but you're up there.
Okay. I always talk about there will be no slander of who on our television show or timeline.
Well, it's a long list. I'm not going to name everybody. But
name one.
LeVar Ball is one of them.
Okay. He didn't make these comments.
Lonzo did.
Okay. Lonzo. Gather around a campfire.
Okay.
Put your ear a little closer to the speaker. Turn it up as loud as possible. Let me teach you something, young man. Don't ever disrespect Nas.
I know.
Okay? I ain't going to even go through the litany of reasons why, because I'm not going to waste my time. That's
don't-
number one. Hold on, I'm not
you don't
finished.
have
I'm not
to.
finished. I'm not finished. Let me cook.
The producers in
Please.
our ear telling us to move on.
I don't care. We can do the whole show on this. Okay. What Magic Johnson is to basketball, Nas is to rap music.
I don't have to live during his time to know that Mozart was a great musician, you know?
And correct. And so this is what I also want to teach young people. You don't have to diss somebody else to big up somebody that you're currently liking. Number one. Number two, if you want to be an artist, just like being an athlete, you should do your homework and your history.
Oh, can I jump in
Okay.
here? Number three, I've heard your rap, Lonzo Ball. You ain't Nas, Future, Migos, or even Dame Lillard. Okay, continue.
Okay, so here's your homework lesson. When you finish with your drills, between the legs, behind the back, shooting your jump shot, here's what you do. You sit down. I want you to put a Bible on one side, and I want you to put Illmatic on the other side.
And then listen to it and tell me which one's more important.
And I don't want you to leave that space until you learn the entire words to every song on that album. Period.
Can we move on now, please? Le'Veon Bell yesterday was applying for a job at Dairy Queen. That's just going to put some pounds on you, Le'Veon Bell. That's one thing I want to let you know. If you're trying to make weight for training camp, it's going to be very hard after you work at Dairy Queen. And then he was freestyling about his salary requests. Let's listen.
Hey, B. Yeah, I see y'all, cuz. Big dog, I got pups bigger than air, bud. Are you aware, bud? Why I'm not at practice? I'm gonna need 17, cause 26 is savage. They say the franchise should be enough. Pockets of Professor Clump.
Come on, lad.
Let me get back to my day. I can't keep showing Buddy love.
He said he was going to show up at training camp September 1st. He showed up to the Steelers practice facility today, September 1st, but then left after half an hour. What happened during that half an hour?
What happened is he went into the office. He saw the GM that just got an extension. He shook his hand, looked at him, and said, "Congratulations." He also went down in the locker room, saw his head coach, Mike Tomlin, who also got an extension, and said, "Congratulations." He walked around the locker room. "Where's Big Ben? I want to make sure he see me." Gave him some dap. "What up, though, to AB?"
Use the bathroom.
and then I'm out.
And then he's gone. He's like, I said I was going to be here. I'm a man of my word. I'm here. But I still need my money.
Absolutely. And so I like the fact that he's created a way to have fun around something that's so very serious.
Very serious.
Filling out the job application at Dairy Queen, busting a freestyle rap while he's working out. You hear that, Lonzo Ball? While he's working out. And here's another thing for you athletes that want to be MCs, and I can't help but go back to this.
You're going to go back to this, Jalen. You are so emotionally affected by Lonzo Ball talking about Nas.
Because Nas is an all-time great. Just listen to Ether.
Okay.
You know what? He gonna get now. You're gonna get an Ether. Oh man, this is gonna be out of control.
Do you remember that story about Zach Randolph when he was in Los Angeles and there was this whole thing about blocking the street and the police came and he got charged with felony possession of medicinal marijuana with intent to distribute and resisting arrest? Well, guess what? They have reduced the marijuana charge to a misdemeanor possession of over an ounce of marijuana. Here's my question. What's he doing with that much medicinal, Jalen? Like, what is he doing walking around with that much medicinal? Like, what was he planning to do that night?
Well, he probably just copped it and was going to store it.
Okay.
When I first saw the charges, I was like, let me Google how much money he's made in the league
yeah,
again.
Exactly. It's like $150 million. He's like, bagging up nickels.
But here's the other thing. A lot of times, when you've made that kind of bread, I would deem that all of the people that he was hanging with that night, champagne and campaigning with, he probably is the highest paid prospect of the crew. So he probably had to do the purchase. That's all.
Let's move on before we get fired. Someone who was just hired to our network was Les Miles, and here was one of his early experiences with the worldwide leader.
I'm going to use the restroom, then see in a minute.
I understand. That's great, Les. Answer and run off. Got it.
I had to do it.
Have the whole pass.
I had to do it.
But it's not just JT Barrett. You got receiver issues. You got timing.
Way straight down the same.
You got a great tailback, and you got a very good offensive.
What did you think about Les Miles' bowl game performance for ESPN?
For those that have been paying attention to this program for the last handful of years, besides who's standing on the sideline at the University of Michigan, my favorite football coach was Les Miles. He will be back in coaching. He not only has a terrific personality, loves grass.
Will he be back from the bathroom, though?
He's going to come back from the bathroom, but he's used to doing things on his own
own time. That's the thing. Is what he needs to realize in media, you have to do things on the producer's time and on the clock's time. That is why every time you see me on Jalen and Jacoby, just know I'm wearing diapers. When we come back, we'll continue to give the people what they want.
This dude slandered Nas?
Irving Johnson has a very lovely wife named Cookie.
Yes,
and
indeed.
one time he wanted to take care of his wife, and he said, you know what I'm going to do?
Since college.
I'm going to get her some jewelry. I'm going to go to a jeweler, and just for one night, I want her to be laced. So I'm going to put a $250,000 deposit down on these jewels so I can rent them essentially for the night. $250,000.
This is one of those things that when you're a billionaire, you continue to try to find ways to please your significant other. Let me tell you what the rest of us would have done if we wanted to take $250,000 to impress him.
Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. I guess we have to address it. It's Kyrie Gate, day 43. They flew Kyrie up from Miami, where he was filming the Uncle Drew movie. They brought Gordon Hayward back out. They had a big press conference, and Kyrie talked about how excited he was to join the Celtics. Let's listen.
To be in a place like this where everyone will gravitate not only to us as individuals, but us as a collective group and a team. And they've done it past years before us, and they will continue to do it past years after us. And I just want to be a part of that. So.
What do you think he's really getting at there when he says that?
There's levels to this. And for Kyrie, he's an all-star in his own right. He's an all-NBA caliber performer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a champion. He performed on the highest stage.
Taking over finals games.
But he was playing with an icon. And when you get a chance to play with first ballot, the first room, the VIP area Hall of Fame type players,
question
while
mark
they
GOAT
are still in their prime, things are going to revolve around them.
Mm-hmm.
And uniquely, basically playing in his hometown. And so for LeBron, when he returned to the team, he just looked down at the record like, okay, no playoffs, one of the worst records in the league, got first-round pick. Oh, Anthony Bennett, bust. Andrew Wiggins, you know what? Not in the letter. I'm going back because I think I can elevate Kyrie and Kevin Love to the levels that we were able to play in Miami with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. That's really what it was all about. And it was give and take because they learned from one another. And as Kyrie now has elevated, he put himself in position, and it's not about the money. Kyrie Irving was getting a max deal and playing on Team USA before LeBron ever returned.
His salary's done. Like, I mean,
he would have
Kyrie
got
knows
big
what he's
money
going to
in
make.
Cleveland. The Cavs would love to build around him and give him elite level money. So it's not about the bread. He doesn't want the money. You heard what he wants. He wants the power. And so now playing with the Celtics, he wants to be the headliner in the face of the franchise.
He was asked specifically if he had spoken to LeBron James since the trade, and here's what he said, quote, "I haven't spoken to James, and my intent, like I said, was my best intentions. To look back at the amount of ground we covered in the 3-year span, to really realize how special that was and how much stuff happened in that amount of time. I'd be sitting up here and telling you a lie if I didn't tell you I learned so much from that guy." I think, because I do this as a media member, we take the poll quote, we run with it. Oh, Kyrie Irving hadn't spoken to LeBron James. But it has to be recognized that he was very respectful and appreciative, not just of the Cleveland organization and fans, but of his relationship with LeBron, which many people think was the reason he requested a trade. What did you take away from this statement?
I have no problems with the way Kyrie is handling his situation and conducting his future, because what he's done is take control of it. At the end of this year, where's LeBron going to play?
No one really knows, to be honest with you.
Okay, so if LeBron leaves, now he's scrambling just like everybody else. If I could put myself in position to control my own destiny and go play for a list of teams that he threw out there and ended up with a #1 seeded team in the Boston Celtics, that's a truly good look. And now it's all about getting out on the floor and showing and improving. The one thing I will say, though, he didn't just call him by his government name. He called him by his last name.
That's it. It was in parentheses, but still, it was like, you know, I had one problem with the way Kyrie handled all this. You got to wear a tie, dude. You got to wear a tie. Come on, it's a press conference. You just got the job. You got to wear a tie. But secondly is, I feel like he has really taking control of his destiny. He wants stability. Everyone in their professional life wants some stability. And he's saying not only has James dictated my success and my team's success for the last 3 years, but he's going to dictate what's going to happen to me this season after this one, whether he stays or leaves. I can't have not only while he's my teammate, LeBron James directly affect how people view me and how successful I am on the basketball court and my team is. I'm going to take that, flip it, and I'm going to take a little bit charge myself, request a trade, and go somewhere where I feel much more stable, which is exactly what I think he did. This is truly a win-win deal from both sides. Don't you agree?
Absolutely. And if you're not the oldest in your sibling dynamic, you can appreciate this analogy I'm about to use. It's like being the younger brother or the younger sister in a situation. How many times do you say, "Stop treating me like a little kid. Stop treating me like little brother. Stop treating me like little sister. I've earned my own right. I've earned my own respect. I'm trying to earn my own name." And so with that, now he has the opportunity to do so on a Boston Celtics team that has really done a good job of parlaying assets.
This Boston Celtics team has parlayed asset and completely revamped their starting rosters. Jalen, you are the person that really brought this to my attention. What is going to be the difference between last year's Celtics and this year's Celtics?
They're going to play more conventional. And what I mean by that is the Boston Celtics are a team that predicates itself on ball movement and player movement to get the shot, not the other way around, a la the Golden State Warriors. That's truly what they want to do. Now, for Isaiah Thomas and Kyrie Irving, how do both of them truly get their offense? Dominating the ball, isolation situations, a lot of pick and rolls. A player like Al Horford, who plays center for the Boston Celtics, may not be an accident why he's the only returning player. Really good passer.
If you look at the Celtics starting 5 from last year and this year, you don't see a lot of commonality.
Correct. And so that conventional wisdom of Kyrie Irving growing his game and being able to function off the basketball, off the strong side, and allow others to create offense for themselves. And while he creates offense for others, remember, a great game for Kyrie and his averages were 25 points, one of the league leaders, 5 assists, not one of the top guards at that assist category. Obviously, when you have LeBron James getting 8 assists, you're not going to lead your team in points. And even if you score that level of point in assists, and if you even put up big numbers, you're not going to lead your team in points. So this is going to be a chance for his game to grow.
All this means to me is I now know exactly what I will be doing on October 17th. October 17th is circled on my calendar and highlighted because that is the opening day when the Cleveland Cavaliers host the Boston Celtics. I cannot wait for that, and I also cannot wait for the next segment because it's my favorite segment. Why, Jalen Rose?
Because you're a slacker, and it's the last one of the week.
What we learned is next on Jalen and Jacoby. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Jalen Rose, it's time for my favorite segment of the week. It's time for What We Learned when we look back at all of the things that happened this week and we distill it down to the lessons that we learned. Are you ready for the first lesson, Mr. Rose?
Are we still only the second most handsome duo in the industry?
We have not gained any ground on Tony and Mike. First thing we learned, never question Dickie V. Dick Vitale was the very first to say that he confirmed that the Celtics and the Cavs trade is actually going to go through. Never question the greatness of the legend, Dickie V.
And let me pull you youngsters behind the curtain of how it work when legends get together.
Talk.
Okay.
Speak.
This isn't
Preach.
Dickie V talking to ownership, presidents, and GMs. This is Dickie V talking to their parents, okay? In a steam room, like a mob movie, mothballs in the jaws, everything, okay?
Fancy lunches at country clubs.
No question.
Those places I've never been to. Those places that you feel uncomfortable at.
Doubt.
That's where Dickie V is.
He is not calling the newsroom. He's not on the bottom of the ticker.
No.
He's like, I got this information, I'm tweeting it out.
And no one calls him up and asks him where he got it from or whether or not it's confirmed. People just let him rock. Good for Dickie V. I love Dickie V. Another thing we learned, Magic Johnson is not concerned about your measly fines. You know, Magic Johnson, he's literally been on a yacht cruising the Mediterranean for, I swear to God, the last 3 weeks. Him and Sam Jackson and some other friends rent out this gigantic yacht that's the size of Rhode Island and just cruise around on jet skis and tan and travel and eat. And he is not concerned about your $500,000 fine, Adam Silver.
So let me get this right.
Mm-hmm.
I get fined $500,000 for anti-tampering with an all-NBA caliber player. That's a discount.
He put a tip on top. He's like, I'm giving y'all $600 just for a tip. Spread that around the office. Don't spend it in one place. You can have a little extra money. Another thing we learned, Matt Stafford grossly overpaid. Just grossly overpaid. All of a sudden, the 17th or 18th best quarterback in the league is the number one quarterback in terms of salary. I don't know how that works, Jalen Rose.
Take it from a Detroit Lions fan. For whatever it's worth, he's arguably the second best quarterback in our franchise's history.
You keep saying that, but just because the bar is set so low and the expectations are so low, it doesn't mean that you can't do apples to apples comparisons to other quarterbacks around the league, and he goes underneath, he loses those comparisons time and time and time again.
And coincidentally, he and Bobby Lane both attended the same high school in Texas. But you have not intimately watched the Detroit Lions quarterbacks over the year.
There's a good reason for that. Because
family.
They're terrible. No one that does not a Lions fan
Ware,
has intimately watched.
Eric Hipple,
God.
Orlowski, Charlie Batch.
Here's another thing we learned. Even the most hyped boxing match in a decade cannot keep Jalen Rose awake. Another thing we learned.
It can't. And here's the thing. I actually was going to attend the fight.
You would have fell asleep in the second row, too.
And my brother, David Jacoby, gave me the best advice. And shout to Wifey, who both told me that you're going to be at the fight until 11 or 12 at night. But that means you're not going to be at your 6 a.m. flight to Detroit for your gala.
It ain't going to happen. Another thing we learned, Bill Belichick just watching bad football. This dude came on wax and said that he has seen every single preseason game. Every single preseason game this year. I don't believe him. Do you believe him?
I'm going to quote LL. That's a lie.
That's a lie. We know that's a lie.
How about this, though? I heard some rumors that you're not going to like.
What's that?
Going into the final preseason game, they were trying to decide if they were going to release Jacoby or not.
Oh, you didn't see what he did then? You didn't see what Jacoby did you?
I did.
You didn't see what Jacoby did. Jacoby heard those rumors too. Jacoby heard those rumors too. He's like, oh, you're going to cut me? You're going to release me? You're going to try to Kaepernick me? Watch this. And he put up like 4 touchdowns or something. It was awesome. Next, we learned that I owe you $3 million. On this show, I pledged that I would give the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy $1 million for every Bond movie that you named, and you named 3 of them, exceeding my expectations. I want to wish everybody a good Friday, and I want to say thank you for listening on ESPN Radio, for watching on ESPN2 and ESPN News, and subscribing to the Jalen and Jacoby podcast.
Come on, Lonzo Ball.
We'll be back on Tuesday. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend.